Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I've literally just this minute finished recording the weekly reading regarding those divine masculines who are in a karmic relationship. We've been following the path of a particular divine masculine and karmic situation for quite a while now. And as I finished the reading, I just felt, last week's reading showed us that this particular karmic is very aware that the divine feminine exists, and we need to have a look at how the karmic is feeling regarding the divine feminine, because there's certainly things changing between the karmic and divine masculine at the moment. So let's get started. I just want to see spirit, please, regarding this karmic. I will use the term she for the karmic, and it's just because it keeps life simple in my head. But please, if your karmic is a male person, then apply it as it is to your situation. Okay, it's not gender specific at all. Right, let's get started. Spirit, please, let's have a look at the karmic. How is the karmic feeling towards the divine feminine, please? How's the karmic feeling towards the divine feminine? Okay, we have balance. Well, that's a good start. How else is the karmic feeling towards the divine feminine, please? Whoops-a-daisy. Material and spiritual prosperity. I'm going to lay out the cards first and then we'll go through them. Gosh, they're all jumping out at the moment. We have deception and envy. Actually, I need that card. I wasn't going to take it, but I felt the need to take it. I want to put it there. Sorry. Let's get this sorted. Right. I was only going to take them in threes, but now we need to take that one too. Let's start with these because I think they're showing a sacrifice on the bottom of the deck. So, this karmic may feel that she is sacrificing something that's very important to her. She may feel that she's had to make sacrifices. It may be that she feels that she's not getting the full attention of the divine masculine because she knows that the divine masculine's heart is with you, divine femme. So, yeah, she's feeling that she's having to sacrifice a lot of things in her life at the moment. I'm going to put that just there because that came up as an extra. Oh, gosh, now we have emotional loss. I don't normally read from the bottom of the deck, but we also have destiny. We're needing to take these. Okay, so 7 cards. Interesting. Okay, let's start from the beginning here. So in her mind, the divine masculine, in her mind, the karmic is trying to bring a sense of balance to her thinking about this situation. Yes, she feels that she's had to make a lot of sacrifices because you exist, divine femme. So she's trying to rationalize that in some way in order to cope with it. She's also trying to balance her emotions, It's a difficult one for her, to be fair, because, she'd rather you weren't in the picture, but she knows that you are. So she's trying to keep a lid on things. She's trying to be very balanced about it. She's trying to rationalize it. It's interesting because I don't get the feeling she's particularly ignoring your existence at the moment. You are in her mind, but she's trying to be very rational about it. She's also very concerned because she wants to hold on to her prosperity, to her security. This has come up in the reading that I've just done about the karmic needing financial and emotional security. And here we see it again. She's wanting to hold on to what she has because it helps her to feel stable. It helps her to feel secure. She sees everything in partnership. So this is a karmic who doesn't feel able to stand on her own 2 feet. And we've seen this, for those of you who have followed the karmic reads on my channel, we've seen this all the way through. this is quite an immature karmic, and she is looking to the divine masculine to provide things for her rather than standing on her own 2 feet and achieving herself, you know. And here she is purveying her situation, you know, seeing everything in twos, seeing everything in partnerships, because she feels that is what brings her security. So the fact that you exist, you know, in her relationship, as she sees it, makes her quite jealous. That's no surprise. She feels envy. She wishes that the divine masculine felt about her as he feels about you. And, you know, sometimes she works in devious ways, you know. She plays emotional games with the divine masculine in order to try and keep him. Maybe there's a part of her that sort of, if you're brought up in a conversation or she finds him looking at pictures of you, you know, maybe she's not so kind about you. I should have put that differently. But, you know, maybe I don't get the feeling that this karmic is out to sort of completely rid you from the picture. She'd rather you weren't there, but she knows it's out of her control. She knows the strength of the feeling between the divine masculine and you, divine femme. So, you know, she is envious of that because she knows that she can't replace you. You know, she has that understanding. So sometimes she does resort to devious methods to try and maybe pull you down a bit or put you out of the picture a bit, you know. Because she knows, as I've just said, that in terms of the divine masculine, you do fulfill his wishes. And the karmic knows deep down that she doesn't. I'm not saying they haven't got a relationship on some level, but this is how the karmic is feeling. Deep down, regardless of how she's behaving, regardless of the devious measures that she takes or steps that she takes, she knows that she's not fulfilling his wishes. And so that's why she's envious. We talked about sacrifice a bit earlier. She does feel that, you know, she's made lots of sacrifices, which, yeah, is interesting, really. But, you know, again, it's her perception. She is also worried that she is going to have to sacrifice at some point, the divine masculine. Please check out, if you haven't seen it, please check out the karmic reading that I did earlier today, because, you know, this is really interesting. I think there is this knowing from the karmic that at some point the divine masculine is not going to be in a relationship with her anymore. And that's quite a scary feeling for her, to be honest, because of her need for this stability and this security, you know? She knows that you are the person that can take her divine masculine away. She doesn't want to feel that pain. She doesn't want to feel that emotional loss. And I know, I can hear you shouting at me, I know, divine femmes. I know. Isn't this an interesting situation? Because from a divine feminine perspective, you know, we look at the karmic and say, hang on a minute, what about the sacrifice I've made? If we're thinking in 3D terms, let me stress this. If we're looking at our relationship with our divine masculine in 3D terms, in, you know, at a human level, then we will, you know, say, well, how come we're the ones that have been making all the sacrifices? Because the karmic shouldn't be with the divine masculine. You know, that's what we're saying as divine femmes sometimes, when we're in that human mindset. You know, on the 5D though, the karmic actually knows that she can't measure up to you, and she knows that at some stage when there's a relationship in the background that's so powerful, she can't compare. So she knows that she's the one that's going to have the heartache. Whereas at the moment, if we're, you know, with divine feminines, as I've just said, on a 3D level, we think we're the ones that are suffering. But the karmic can never match up to a divine feminine. Never. Because the karmic knows that you are the divine masculine's destiny. She can't match up to that. The karmic cannot match up to that. I'm moving this card because I'm getting light from the window. I do apologise. But yeah, you are his destiny. Or her destiny. It depends if your divine masculine's male or female, like I said earlier. But, you know, so it's quite, in a way, although, you know, I often talk about this karmic as being quite immature, deep down, emotionally, she knows the truth here, which actually is quite mature. But she chooses to be, you know, deceptive and envious because she doesn't want to sacrifice this divine masculine, because this divine masculine helps her to feel emotionally and materially secure. That's what it boils down to. She feels that the divine masculine is her fulfillment of wishes. And yet deep down, she knows that it can't be, because they haven't got that connection that the divine feminine has. That's very succinct. That's very succinct. I want to look at what the karmic would like to tell. I hesitate to do this, you know, but I'm just trying to get a feeling from the cards of what the divine, I keep saying the wrong words, of what the karmic would like to tell the divine feminine. I don't know if there's a card that can describe that, frankly, but anyway. I'm going to move those up a tad so we can have a look. They're guiding me to these, which is quite interesting because, again, I always say these cards are full of emotion. Let's see what she wants us to know, or what he wants us to know as a karmic. Okay, what does the karmic want to tell the divine feminine, please? What does the karmic want to tell the divine feminine? Okay. We have clarity of belief. Let me move these up just a bit so that we've got more room. We have clarity of belief. We'll come back to that. Which one? Which one is it, Spirit? Just breathe. We have joy and stability. Do you know, I have just had, the reason I'm laughing is because I looked at this card and an angry voice came through my head that said, you need to look at yourself. See the reflection here? This is a card for me, always about, yes, it's about calm, it's about inner reflection, but this came across with a slightly different edge to it. As I said, the words that came through were, you need to look at yourself. In other words, you know, this is why I said I hesitated, because the karmic obviously doesn't really want to speak to the divine feminine, really. Because she wants to sort of ignore that the divine feminine exists if she possibly could, even though she knows in reality she can't. But she wants things to change. You look at this, we have this clarity of belief here, you know. The karmic wants things to change. She wants this situation to change. We have a butterfly, which is a symbol of transformation. She wants this situation to change. She doesn't want you to be in her relationship, you know, and she's almost sort of giving you a warning shot through the 5D. She's trying to say to you, you know, you need to look at yourself here, because I'm actually quite happy, thank you very much, Divine Femme. I don't need you interfering in my relationship. You know, that's her very much on a human level, you know, sort of trying to push you away, Divine Femme. Whereas on the 5D, you know, in spiritual terms, she knows the truth of this situation. She's hurting, you know, she'd rather you weren't around in her relationship, even on a 5D level. So, you know, she wants things to change. She wants you, you know, she's saying to you, you know, think about this, don't upset my happiness, because actually I'm fine where I am and everything's hunky-dory. It's not. Please have a look at the karmic readings. Things aren't as happy as you would want them to be. But, you know, this is part of her hanging on to her emotional and her financial security here. I'm just going to pull some tarot for those, because I think we need to see where, you know, how she feels at each of those stages, where she's at, basically. Why does she want the karmic to sort of change this? Sorry. Why does the karmic want the Divine Feminine to make these changes? Sorry, I missed it, Spirit. Yeah, look. She wants the Divine Feminine to go and shine somewhere else. She doesn't want her to shine in the Divine Masculine's life. She doesn't want the Divine Feminine to hold out for a fresh start with the Divine Masculine. She wants that to change. She wants it to go and shine somewhere else, basically. I'm not going to say any more about that, because that is how she's feeling. You know, we can't argue. If we were in the karmic's position, we'd feel exactly the same. As a DF, as I said earlier, as a DF, you know, it's almost like there's been a role reversal, because some of these emotions we feel towards the karmic also, you know, when we're working on a 3D level. On a 5D level, we're untouchable, Divine Femmes. Yeah, you see, because the karmic wants things to go in her favour. And remember, that doesn't make her particularly devious. It doesn't make her particularly malicious. You know, it doesn't make her particularly self-centred. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, you know, anybody in a relationship they want to stay in would want everything to go in their favour. And this is where the karmic's at. And this is why she, you know, she's saying, Divine Feminine, take a look at yourself. You know, you're interfering in my relationship. I want things to go well. Yeah, because she knows, look, it's just a matter of time. She has that understanding. She's saying to you, Divine Femmes, you know, from my perspective, from the karmic's perspective, there's no point in waiting. You know? Even though she knows that it's a matter of time, she's trying to say to you, because we're asking what is she saying to you here, there's no point in waiting, because, you know, I want things to go in my favour. And I'm not hanging about either, waiting for you to come in and spoil my joy and happiness. It's a strong message from the karmic to the Divine Femme here. What about this joy and happiness, Spirit? 2 cards, yeah, okay. She doesn't want you to bring shadow. She doesn't want you to bring shadow into her happy life. This karmic feels that she's worked hard for this relationship. She feels like she's put a lot of love, a lot of energy into it to get to a place where she does feel emotionally and financially secure. She doesn't want you to be there rocking the boat for her. She doesn't want you to cast shadow. She also finds it uncomfortable, Divine Femme, that you're here making her look at herself. Remember, karmic relationships are about life lessons. We're putting right something that happened in the past. We're learning more for our souls to develop. We all have karmic relationships. This karmic is not unique. She just happens to be with your divine masculine at the moment. That's why it hurts. But this karmic is saying it's uncomfortable for me that you're around because I know that you're his destiny. But when I think about that, that hurts because I'm having to look at me. It's bringing out parts of my character I don't want to look at. And I've worked hard for this joy, this stability. I've worked hard for it. And it's just occurred to me that has the word stability on it. And that's exactly what I've been mentioning right from the beginning of this reading. That's what this karmic needs in her life. We all need that, yes. But this karmic has this real insecurity about her, where she sees her stability anchored to someone else, or coming from someone else, I should say. She feels she's worked hard for this relationship. That's why she's trying to say to you, Divine Femme, don't mess with my relationship, please. When in actual fact, she can't compete. She knows this. I've said it several times in this reading. She cannot compete with a twin flame relationship because you and your divine masculine are one, Divine Femme. You're from one flame. That's the whole point, Amazing. That's a very interesting reading, and I feel quite touched by that, to be honest. I feel quite sad inside, really, because there's almost this, I feel quite tearful because I'm picking up the energy of this karmic very strongly in her messages that she wants to say to you. But it's a huge lesson for her because she knows the reality. She cannot compete with the connection the divine feminine has with the divine masculine. She knows it. There's a destiny card here. She knows it. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Do let me know what your thoughts and feelings are about that. Please be kind. The karmic is just another person learning her lessons through life like we all are. And, we asked how she felt. We asked what messages she wants to bring. And, we heard. So please be kind in the messages. I don't like to bring negativity into the comments because it doesn't help the collective, frankly. But I would be interested in your reflections on this particular reading, Divine Femmes. Let me know whether you found it helpful. And if you enjoyed it, please like, please share. Let's do it again soon. You know what I mean. Please check out the other karmic readings that are on the site, and also a couple of days ago I did on the channel, I meant to say, and a couple of days ago I also did a divine masculine update, so please check that out. I will sort of link a couple of them at the end of this video. And yeah, take care, have a beautiful time, and keep positive, Divine Femmes, and keep sending those loving wishes to your divine masculine. He needs it right now, okay? Take care, and we'll speak soon. Bye for now.